Welcome to the 81st video in our series on Unix tools. This time around, I'm going to show you and discuss the PDF that you should be able to download along with the videos from this series. This PDF is about the VI text editor. And you can see it's pretty long, 140 pages, but don't let that scare you. You don't have to read it all in one sitting. And of course, you only need to read the parts that matter to you. So, it's got a complete table of contents, which you can peruse to find out things you want to learn about and jump to it. For instance, let's say you wanted to know about deleting text. You could jump here or you could jump here, either one, and click on that. And if you're in a decent PDF viewer, you'll be able to jump right to the page you need. And when you see links like this one, see page 109, that's a link. You can jump and get there. So let's say you have no idea, you just saw something in one of the videos and you don't understand what the keys I press do. You can always jump to the end. There's a complete, fairly comprehensive index, and you see these pictures telling you some key combinations. You'd hold down the shift and then you'd hit the backslash. If it's got a plus, it means you hold down the stuff on the left. And if it doesn't have a plus, that's not necessary. But most of the time, the left key will either be a shift or a control. And you can just go through here. Whenever you see a command like this one with a colon in front, that tells you it's some kind of EX command. And these page numbers are all clickable. So if we wanted to learn about background, we could go here and we'd see, oh, you can set it to dark or light depending on your terminal type. It's mostly broken into different logical sections. At the beginning, I talk about whether you should use VI or not. VI requires you learn the commands. It takes some commitment. For someone who just wants to edit their 100-line homework program, it's not worth it. But if you're going to be a serious Unix professional using Linux or one of the BSDs, and you're going to do system administration or database administration or DevOps, you're going to need to know VI because it works well over a remote connection like PuTTY or SSH. And things like Visual Code don't work well over a remote connection, if they work at all. So that's the motivation. And it starts out with how to exit, how to move your cursor, searching, a little bit about regular expression patterns. That's something that's new in this year's edition. You can see at the bottom from 2018 to 2024. So I've worked on this for years. And this year has a lot of new material. All the stuff about regular expressions is new. It wasn't in previous editions that I made available for download. The EX mode is expanded with examples on substitution, including the G and V commands. All of that is new material that hasn't been in previous versions. This stuff isn't secret, but it expands on what was already there and explains it in better detail. Let's take a look, for instance, at substitution. So it starts out with a discussion and a quick example of what this line means. When you see the colon in front, you know you drop the EX mode. You see we've got a range from line 23 to line 40. It's a substitution. That's the S command. And then you have the old and the new. The G tells you don't just replace the first one on the line, replace all of them on the line. And substitute works line by line. So, okay, that's pretty nice. It looks pretty dense though. And it warns you that, if you're going to do the whole file, you can use %. And then we go into a chart showing what the different flags are. We saw G just a moment ago, but there are several others, including C, which will be popular. That stops and asks you yes or no for each change. So if you need to change most of them, but not all, you can take a shortcut and use the C and just say no for the ones you don't want to change. One thing that VIM has that other ones don't is you can report the number of replacements that would have been done but don't actually do it. Back references are discussed in detail with some examples. Here's an example using a back reference here. So a back reference is a reference to some parenthesized pattern. Some more complex substitution examples. So this one uses bookmarks, this one uses line numbers, this one uses %, which is the whole file. And you can see I use repetition counts, and it's explained. G and V were pretty much undocumented in last year's version of this file, but I have completely documented it, and I've tested these patterns. I hope there aren't any bugs, but I've done my best with some pretty common examples. And then we're back to block indent and dedent, which was in the old version. Then, what else is new? Well, I told you the regular expression information, including patterns, dialects, and examples. I go through the patterns. VIM has hundreds of regex patterns. I show you the common ones that you'd need. Here's a second whole chart, a third whole chart, and then I talk about the dialects. And so one of the problems with regular expressions in VIM is VIM has its own dialect of regex. If you switch and you want to use NVI or OpenVI or one of the other VIs, most of the commands, all the commands about motion and blocks are the same. And the regular expression commands like substitute, global, and anti-global, the :V, are conceptually the same, but they use different regex patterns to say the same thing. And you have to learn the dialect for each VI you use. That's a downside. The smart thing to do is just use VIM everywhere. Anywhere NVI will run, you can get VIM for that same platform and many more. I've got examples this time around. And again, these are all in VIM dialect. More examples, even more examples. And so all of that stuff is new for this edition of the PDF. There are also many small changes throughout the document to clarify things. So how do you recover from a big Q? That's new. Okay, Shift Q will drop you into EX mode and leave you in EX mode, and you need to type visual to get back out. That wasn't in the previous document, so that's a new recovery option. I've documented visual mode, and again, that's been expanded, and I've got nice charts for that. Visual mode is quite popular with people coming from the Windows world. For the digraphs, I've added a couple of new digraphs, the yen and the won, which might be useful in Thailand. So even if you've seen this document before, I hope you'll get the new one. And, any friend of yours that needs VIM, this is freely redistributable. Give them a copy. The last thing is the found a bug has been modified quite a bit because Mr. Ham has reached the age of 60, which means I am officially obsolete according to the Thai government. And so I'm having to retire this year and go back to the States. I will never be able to update this document again here in Thailand. And I won't have the facilities to upload it to the Thai website once I'm back in the States. So if you do find a bug, it's up to you to fix it. I have enjoyed working here. I hope you read this. But, the rules are the rules. So I have to go. And that is the end of this video. I hope that you take a little time and work your way through this document. If you just need a quick answer, you jump to the table of contents. If you can't find it, you jump to the index. Or as a last resort, this is not a scan PDF. This is a real PDF. So your PDF search capability will let you search for words in it just like you could with any other quality PDF. Thank you for listening.